Hey Kapp crew, today we're going to be learning about the water cycle, how water got to Earth, how the atmosphere formed, and how oxygen got in the atmosphere. But before we start our lesson, I'm going to get a glass of water.
Wait a second, how did that water even get there?
To learn that, we're going to have to go some places and explore. Press the magic teleporter button. Alright Kapp crew, we're at our first location. Since the water cycle is a cycle, there's no beginning or end, so we'll just have to hop right in. This is a river. Rivers transport vast amounts of water from snowmelt, rainfall, and other large reservoirs. This is the Sacramento River, the main water source for Sacramento, both for its people and its agriculture. Alright, let's press the magic teleporter button to go to the next location. Teleported to a cloudy place, let's talk about the clouds part of the cycle. First, water evaporates from bodies of water, like rivers, lakes, and oceans. It then forms water droplets that condense and form clouds. Now we're exploring a dry creek bed.
Wait, how is this part of the water cycle? There's no water.
It's an important part of the water cycle because many cities during the hot, dry summer months don't have access to river water. So they draw from underground reservoirs called aquifers. Although aquifers are a good source of water, they're not infinite, and depleting their levels can cause ground to compact and make them not be able to fill again.
From the clouds to the rain to the river to the sea, where's my water? It's a clean salivation when I see condensation is what happens in the stars, and then the drops get big and fall apart. Whoa, 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 that's how the cycle goes. Whoa, whoa, I guess that's how the cycle goes. It's the liquid of it, it's H2O. They know me where it's notes, and then it grows. Woo! It's the liquid of it, it's H2O. They know me where it flows.
During Earth's history, there was a time where oxygen stayed at about 2% of the gases in the atmosphere. During this time period, life wasn't doing that well, and it was only basic organisms. Also, there wasn't much iron to take out oxygen from the air, and there was minimal iron in the oceans. So, with less bacteria to do photosynthesis and less iron to oxidize and take oxygen out of the atmosphere, the oxygen levels didn't change. This time period was called the Boring Billion. Wait, how did oxygen get in the atmosphere?
Well, I can tell you the oxygen story.
Bum bum, ba-da-dum. The cyanobacteria walked up to the atmosphere and said to the gas in the air, hey, bum bum bum, got any oxygen? The gas said, no, we only have CO2, but it's rich in oxygen and carbon too. Want some? The cyanobacteria said, sure. And then he drifted away, drift, 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 drift. And then he drifted away, drift, drift, drift. Till the very next day, bum 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 bum. The cyanobacteria walked up to the atmosphere and said to the gas in the air, hey, bum bum bum, got any oxygen? The gas said no, like I said yesterday, we just have CO2, okay? Why not give it a try? The cyanobacteria said, alright, and then he drifted away, drift, drift, drift. Then he drifted away, drift, drift, drift. Then he drifted away, drift, drift, drift. Till the very next day, bum 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 bum. The cyanobacteria walked up to the atmosphere and said to the gas in the air, hey, bum bum bum, got some oxygen? No. But wait a minute, how did you get that? Well, I took the CO2 you gave me and then water from the sea. I made glucose and oxygen. Cool, can you make some more?
Oxygen
Oxidation is the process of metals, primarily iron, reacting with oxygen and forming metal oxides or rust. Iron oxides were the majority with the formula Fe2O3. This process takes oxygen out of the atmosphere. One of the ways scientists can measure the oxygen saturation in the past is to observe the iron bands that correspond to that time.
As you saw, oxygen got into the atmosphere and small life forms called bacteria came to Earth. The bacteria took the CO2 from the atmosphere and fresh water. It was then used sunlight to help produce food for itself. It releases oxygen as a waste product. With lots of cyanobacteria, it increases the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. Eventually, multicellular organisms were created, which allowed for more oxygen to enter the atmosphere.
Now that we're here, we gotta put on our safety gear. So, when the Earth formed, rocks collided at very high speeds, like this. These rocks were 21% water. When they collided with others, they melted into magma. This magma contained lots of water vapor, and that water vapor was about 60% of the gases in the magma. Eventually, the magma is brought to the surface. Because it was brought to the surface, these gases were able to expand and cause an eruption. This eruption released water vapor into the air, and through the water cycle, the oceans, lakes, and rivers formed. Before you go, since these rocks are approximately 21% water, and the water on Earth makes approximately 0.2% of Earth's mass, there is enough water in these rocks to create the oceans. See ya!